So here I am, day one on calling it Exodus number 4, and you're never gonna guess where I'm headed unless you know me. I'm headed to Alaska. So I decided to do this about five months ago. I got back from Moab for a little trip, and I decided that I wanted to travel again. So yeah, so this time I'm doing it a little bit differently. I went completely overkill on almost every choice I made, including buying a new 2022 GMC Yukon XL. And you can't see the back, but it's swanky. There's a party going on back there, and unfortunately you're not invited. But it's sexy, it's modern, it's swanky, and I built it all myself. I'm pretty proud of that. It took me 3 months. I am going to show you that in a separate video because there's pretty much too much to tell. I can't show you while driving. That's pretty much the determining factor as to why I'm going to give you a separate video. And I have good news for you. Haas's is reporting that the lobster cakes are back. So the plan is basically 1 day long with a destination point of Alaska. You know, I haven't taken a road trip in probably 3 years. No, I think it's been 4 years now. And amazing how like fast that elation just floated into me, like just took over. Like 15 minutes into it, I just felt a lightness and a happiness that I haven't felt for a while. I don't know, it seems simple, but it's also very philosophically dense, for me at least. That sign over there says, "Your mind is a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers, or you can grow weeds." Rhyming bonus. Of course, it's a church. Takes points off. Well, this is United 93 Memorial Park. There's literally nobody here except for me. It's like super quiet. It's a little eerie. So this is the crash site here. It starts over there and extends all the way over to that gap right there. Visitor center doesn't allow photography inside, but it's pretty interesting. Tells a good story. I'm glad I came here. Oh, this place is gorgeous. I'm just getting some kindling. I already met a couple guys down the road that are here fishing. Said they caught some couple brown trout, which is good. And it's getting stocked tomorrow. So it's going to be chock full of fish tomorrow. Get camp set up, get a fire going, cook some dinner. The rest of today is just basically going to be taking all the junk that I threw in the truck at the last minute that I didn't have a place for and finding out where everything is, because I know I have stuff in this truck, I just don't have any clue where it is. I think like the Gorilla Tape is probably with the food, and my USB chargers are probably with the olive oil somewhere. I am officially 2.5% of the way to Alaska. I got to tend to the fire, so that's it for day one. Well, pretty bleak beginning to the second day. It's raining and it's 45 degrees and everything is wet. I was verklempt to find the bathrooms are locked, but for now I think that I need to go take my little poop shovel and wait for a break in the rain and go into the woods and you know, dive right to the deep end. Getting set up here to do a little fishing. There's a lot of guys here, but I don't know where they all are. I guess they got an early start. No idea where I am. Don't have my fishing license with me. Hoping I don't get jammed up by a ranger. And it's just a frickin' dismal day. It's just shitty. It's cold and rainy. I almost don't want to fish because I know it's going to take like 2 days for my boots to dry out. And also, the first challenge I've realized so far is that in a wet environment, keeping what is essentially my tent dry is like ridiculously difficult, because here, my waders are going to be wet, my shoes are going to be wet. I sort of planned this in a sterile environment where everything was nice and clean and sweet, and I didn't think about these things. Well, I did think about them, but I just didn't really care about them enough to think about them more than I thought about them. So I decided to put an early end to that because all of a sudden it's 3 o'clock and I snagged twice and lost 2 flies, so maybe that's a good sign to give it a rest. Plus the rain stopped, so good opportunity to go back to camp and try to get a fire lit and some things organized. And I caught like, I don't know, 8 fish, nothing over about 10 inches, but definitely my most successful day fly fishing because the conditions were perfect. The water's like icy cold and it was raining lightly and it was overcast and they just stocked it. So, you know, you really can't go wrong. And this is such a beautiful park. So the sun came out for about 5 minutes and I threw the solar panels out and then it started to rain again. So it seems that the biggest challenges so far are keeping everything dry, keeping the interior of the SUV dry when everything else is wet. Of course I knew this. I just didn't plan on the first 2 days being incessant rain. And then the second challenge is lighting a fire in the rain. Pretty good at that. And then of course the third challenge is keeping everything charged. And I'm so glad that I have a backup 500 watt Jackery in addition to my 1000 watt Jackery, because when it's raining there's no possibility of using the solar panels and you can't just run the truck for 10 hours a day. So got some things to figure out, but stick with me. See ya.